And we're back. This is Wild 1, getting ready for round 4. One quick thing I need to take care of before we get started. I confused the wizard for the priest. I don't know how I did that exactly, but the priest searched the mountains and found a key. And for whatever reason, I gave the key to the wizard. And the wizard's way over here at the castle. So this key actually belongs to the priest. So let's put it in the priest's inventory. So I think my order of events here is going to be, I like to leave the druid behind. So what I'm going to do is, first off, before the druid and the priest part ways, I'm going to pass the key on to the druid. The druid's going to stay in the mountains and continue searching for keys. And we're going to go ahead and have the druid go first. And here's another hoard. Let me compare the druid's secrecy. So the druid has 4, so still just a small hoard. And it's 4 to defend, 3 to elude. And the druid can elude with 2, so we're going to attempt to elude. So here we go. And, oh, barely, there's a 3. So we successfully eluded. If we hadn't, because the priest was here, we could have used the priest's intercession bonus to take the hit instead of the druid. Alright, so that's taken care of. Now, our druid's action is, as I was saying, to search. So the druid is going to conduct a search of the mountains. Let's see if we can find a 3rd key. Oh, I only rolled a 1. Oh well. And that is the end of the druid's turn. So now we're going to do the priest. The priest is going to draw an event. Oh, well, this is lovely. Level 7 event called Midnight. And all it says is increase the darkness by 1. Ouch. Don't like that. Don't like that one bit. Alright, and for the priest's action, he's going to move to the castle to join the wizard over here. Now let's take care of the wizard. Now the priest is going to protect the wizard. The wizard has very low grace, so if something were to happen here and the wizard were to get hit, I think we're going to have the priest soak up that lost grace. And for the wizard, we have a shambling horror at level 4. We compare to the wizard's secrecy. Well, his secrecy right now is 4. Puts him here, so we have to face a mummy. And it's 4 to elude. The wizard can fight, but I think we're going to try to elude. So it's basically a 1 in 2 chance that the wizard will elude this mummy. Just need to roll a 4 or higher. And we did, we rolled a 5, so we're successful. Don't need the priest to soak up grace for him. Now what I want to do is either we should search here or fight this shroud. All it does is protect blights, so it's really kind of, until there's another blight there, there's really no need to worry about it. So I think the wizard should attempt to search, since a search in the castle is really easy. Just a 2 or higher. Just don't roll a 1. And we rolled a 5. Let's see what the wizard found. We look at the castle, and we found us a supply cache. Now, recall A supply cache means that I get to draw 2 power cards from my deck. So this is the wizard. We're going to draw the top 2 power cards and then choose one to keep, and the other one goes at the bottom of the deck. Alright, so we pulled 2 of the wizard's more advanced powers. One of them is called Fiend Fire, and you can exhaust it as a tactic to fight with 5 dice. That is outstanding. And then we have the Rune of Clairvoyance. So similar to the Oaths of the Night, the wizard has a collection of runes, and only one rune can be active at any time. So as a special action, the wizard can activate this Rune of Clairvoyance, which forces him to deactivate any other runes. And then while it's active, at the start of the wizard's turn, you look at the top card of any deck, put it on the top or bottom of that deck. It's kind of an interesting one because it would be useful for, obviously for the event deck, to try to avoid anything really bad. Another option is looking at the top of the map deck to get a premonition of what might be to come, whether you're going to search next, or what blight will come out based on where the necromancer is going to go. I'm looking at this Fiend Fire and I'm like, I really want this because I have this Lightning Strike as well, and it'd be nice for the wizard to have a couple really awesome offensive spells. So we're going to give him Fiend Fire. And then we have to put the Rune of Clairvoyance at the bottom of the wizard's deck. The wizard's power deck. Oh yes, also one other thing, the wizard moved, so he actually gets to gain a secrecy up to 5. So he actually has 5 secrecy as a result of moving to the castle. Now finally for the knight. I was constantly referring to the knight as a he. The knight is clearly a woman, and if you read through the knight's flavor text here, it refers to the knight as a she. So definitely a she. So our knight, the only female member of our party, by the way, will draw an event, and it is Looters. This is an interesting one. So there's no defending, you can only elude. If you succeed in eluding, you gain a secrecy, and there's no cap on that. So the knight currently has 6. The knight could potentially get to 7. But if you fail, you exhaust all your powers. That's really, really bad. So let's hope we don't fail. If we fail, then the knight will have to hide, which is the action that allows her to restore all of her exhausted powers. Alright, so we're going to try to elude this, and I'm going to use my sprint to attempt to elude with 2 dice. Come on. It's a 1 in 2 chance on each die. I have to roll just a 4 or higher on one of these dice. And I did it! I rolled a 5. So what's super awesome about this is that I get to gain a secrecy. So I get to go to 7. I get to cap the knight's secrecy. Very nice. Now, while the knight's here, we're going to have her try to fight this dark fog again. She didn't successfully beat it the last time, and she lost a turn because of it. We need to get rid of this dark fog so that searching is easier in this location. So it's 5 to destroy it. I'm going to use my charge tactic to fight with 2 dice. Let's see if we can roll a 5 this time. Oh, a 1 and a 2. Once again, the knight fails. And because the knight failed, she once again loses a turn. But she has 7 secrecy. It's a guarantee that she will not be seen by the necromancer. So the only reason the necromancer would move to her location will be is if he rolls a 2 or a 5. Which it's time to do now. So let's do it. Night phase. Necromancer rolls. And he gets a 6. Well, 6 is not good. The priest and the knight are unseen. The necromancer can see the wizard and the druid. Oh yeah, we need to increase by 1. Forgot to increase the darkness. That's the very first thing we have to do. So, who is closer? The druid is in the mountains, and the wizard is in the castle. And in either case, the necromancer has to move through the village. So he's going to move 1 space into the village. And we need to spawn a blight in this location. The village is not looking good. We've got 2 blights there and we're about to add a 3rd. We're going to need to have somebody get to the village and start killing those off. So in the village we gain an evil presence. This is a new blight we haven't seen yet. Here is our evil presence. It causes -1 die while eluding. It takes 4 to destroy it, and if you fail, you have to draw an event card. Not fun. At least it's a 50-50 chance of killing it. But we need to get somebody there to start killing those off, because it's just not looking good there. The corruption prevents you from using any bonuses. The evil presence is cutting back on the ability to elude. Flip everybody back to the day side. We're ready for round 5. Let me take a moment to think about what I want to do here. We really need to get somebody to that village. Let's go ahead and take the knight's turn, since all we need to do is just stand the knight up, and she's done. So that leaves us with our druid, our wizard, and our priest. I'm going to go ahead and take the druid's turn, since I know what I want to do here. So let's draw an event card. We get a dark champion. We need to compare to the darkness track. If we're at 0 to 9, which we are, then we face a ghoul. So we're going to, the druid's going to attempt to elude that ghoul. The druid can elude with 2 dice. We only need a 3 or higher. And we got it, we got a 5 here. No success, reward. So now our druid is going to search the mountains again. And we rolled a 1. He's spending a lot of his time up there trying to search and just can't seem to find anything. I'm really hopeful to get that 3rd key so that we can get relic number 1. Alright. We have our priest and our wizard both sitting over at the castle. I think we're going to have the wizard go first. We'll draw an event card for the wizard. It's a dark scrying. Level 6 event. Spend a grace or lose 2 secrecy. Well, since this is our wizard who's spending the grace, we can use this particular bonus, the intercession, as I talked about before. Whenever here at my location loses or spends grace, they may spend my grace instead, me being the priest. So the priest is actually going to lose the grace instead of the wizard. That brings the priest down to 4. I think we're going to have the wizard move from the castle to the village. We'll move the wizard into the village and the priest will follow. So, to the village. right to the middle of the village. Normally he would gain a secrecy for moving, but he's at 5, so he can't gain any more secrecy. Now we need to deal with these blights. We don't have to deal with the necromancer. And of course the corruption is the no bonuses, the evil presence is -1 eluding, but he's going to have to deal with these shades. It's 3 to defend. And I think what we want to do is use his invisibility tactic. His invisibility tactic simply says activate. And we're going to activate that for our combat. And it's +2 when eluding, deactivate and exhaust if you fail a combat or use another tactic. So we're going to use his invisibility. We're going to put that right here on his card so that we know that it is active. Actually, I forgot I had this, but let's set it right here. And I have these tokens that came with one of the expansions. They have an active and an inactive side on them. So let's grab a blue one for the wizard. So I'm going to put this on the card to indicate that it's active. So with his invisibility active, defending against the shades, he's going to roll 1 die. I'm sorry, he's going to attempt to elude the shades, I'm sorry. It's +2 when eluding, so he gets to roll 2 dice to elude. But I think I'm just going to activate this and we're going to attempt to defend because I think I can roll a 3 or higher on 1 die. It's kind of a gamble. And I rolled a 1. Not doing so well here. Because the wizard rolled a 1, he has to first deactivate and exhaust his ability, his invisibility, which I completely wasted. Deactivate and exhaust. So we have to flip it around, and it goes face down. I'm just going to stick it under here. So it's become exhausted, and he's going to lose a secrecy. Or, I'm sorry, he's going to lose a grace. That brings him down to 2. Maybe I should have tried to elude, even though I would have needed a 5 or higher. I would have been able to roll 2 dice to elude. Alright, we're now to the priest. The priest gets a sloppy search. We roll a die, and if we roll a 6, we gain a secrecy. If we roll a 4 or a 5, nothing happens, and if we roll a 1 to 3, we have to spend a grace or lose a secrecy. We rolled a 2, so we're going to have to spend a grace or lose a secrecy. I think, since the priest is really good on secrecy right now, let's go ahead and bring the priest's secrecy down to 5. Then we're going to bring the priest to the village. And now that the priest is in the village, we need to deal with the evil presence in the shades. There's a bonus, so intercession, which we had used before, I'm not going to be able to use until we get rid of that corruption. And evil presence takes 1 die away from your elude roll. We're going to have to deal with these shades, either defend or elude. I'm going to use the sanctuary tactic, which allows me to elude with 4 dice. I will only be able to roll 3, and I lose a secrecy if I succeed, so my secrecy will drop to 4. So we're going to use 3 dice to elude, to attempt to elude these shades. And we succeeded, actually twice. Alright. Well, we succeeded, therefore we have to lose a secrecy. So the priest loses a secrecy. Better than losing a grace right now. The priest is at 4, the necromancer is there, but we'll have to see what happens here. So everybody's done. We need to now move on to the night phase. We need to move the darkness up to 5. And we will now roll for the necromancer. You rolled Ooh, okay, so he can see the priest, and he can see, well, that's, yeah, the druid. He can see the druid and the priest. Well, the priest is right there, so he's moving toward the nearest hero, and the priest is there, so he's not going to move. He's going to stay where he is, because the priest is in the village with him. Which means something very, very bad. We have to spawn a 4th blight in the village. And that is, if you recall, the maximum number of blights you can have at any location. So we're going to spawn spies. There are the spies. These really suck too. You lose a secrecy each turn you're in the same location with them. And then they're 5 to defeat, and you lose a secrecy if you fail to beat them. So we've got our work cut out for us here. Moving on to round 6. Not looking good for our heroes. I think what we probably want to do first is maybe have the knight fight the dark fog again while I try to figure out what I'm going to do with the priest and the wizard. So let's do that. It's a raid. Count the blights in your location. Well, there's only 1 blight in the knight's location. Because there's only 1 blight, I lose 2 secrecy. That's alright, the knight had 7 secrecy, so she can afford to lose a couple. Now, once again, we're going to have the knight fight this dark fog. I'm starting to wonder if it's a wise strategy to keep trying to fight this. I get to fight with 2 dice, as before. I just have to roll a 5. You'd think I could do it by now. There it is, 6. All right. Finally. We got rid of this dark fog that's been clouding our ability to search in the ruins. So the ruins are now clear. That's great. So nothing else for the knight to do on her turn. Her turn is up. The druid, I think we'll do the druid next. I'm saving the hardest for last, which is the village. The wizard and the priest, they're going to have to tag team and do some fighting. The druid draws a demon compared to the druid's secrecy. Well, the druid's secrecy is 4, so we end up getting a fearful demon. It's 3 to defend against, 4 to elude. And if we fail, we lose 2 secrecy. I think I'm going to risk my animal companion to fight with 2 dice in this defense attempt. If I fail, I lose my animal companion. He runs off. I would have to hide to bring him back. So I only need a 3 or higher. And I got it. I got a 6 and a 4. It's pretty good. Pass that test. Again, with my wild strategies, I'm going to have the druid search the mountains yet again. 50-50 chance. Come on, druid. Let's do this. Alright, finally I got a 4. Okay. Let's see what we get in the mountains. Oh, we didn't get a key, but we did get a treasure chest. Now, the treasure chest, there is actually a little token in my box for the treasure chest. And it looks like this. There's the treasure chest. So I can choose to just kind of hang on to the treasure chest, and then at any time I wish I can discard it to draw a new power, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and discard it immediately to draw a new power. So rather than just kind of hanging on to it. I'm not sure why you would want to hang on to it and wait. I mean, why not go ahead and acquire a new power immediately? I guess unless maybe there was some foresight and you knew what was there, I don't know. So this is the new power I'm going to acquire. It's tranquility. This is great. I got a +3 bonus to my default grace. So my default grace is 5. Now my default grace is 8, thanks to this bonus. Alright, time for the hard part. The priest and the wizard. I think we should have the wizard go first. Well, first we need to go ahead and move through this part of the turn. We lose a secrecy because the necromancer is present. We need to draw an event. And it's a tracker. 4 to defend, 5 to elude. If I win the fight, I lose a secrecy. If I win the elude, there's no effect, and if I fail, I lose 2 secrecy. Well, that's kind of sucky. So let's try the elude. See if I can roll a 5 or a 6. I rolled a 5. Isn't that great? Okay. By winning the elude, nothing happens. I don't lose any secrecy. Now it's time for losing some secrecy because I'm going to have to spend secrecy to fight. And actually, I have been forgetting to do that. I just realized that rule I've been forgetting to do. So the knight fought that dark fog. Actually, the knight fought that dark fog multiple times. Well, I'm going to drop the knight's secrecy down to 2 because I think the knight tried 3 times to fight that dark fog. So every time you attack, you need to lower your secrecy by 1, and I wasn't doing that with the knight. So I may have to review the previous videos, but I think the druid also fought and defeated something in the mountains. I think it was the skeletons actually, because the priest didn't do it. So the druid had to have been the one to do it. I'm going to take another secrecy off the druid. The wizard is going to fight the spies. They take 5 to kill. The wizard's going to lose a secrecy for declaring an attack. Let's use this awesome fiend fire. So I'm going to exhaust this fiend fire to fight with 5 dice. It's a lot of dice, isn't it? You'd think with 5 dice I could pull this off. I could kill these spies. So here we go. I just need a 5 on one of them. And I got, well, a couple 6s. That's good enough. That's good enough. The spies are dead. Alright, we're starting to clean things up here. And that ends the wizard's turn. We now move to the priest. The priest needs to lose a secrecy for being in the same location as the necromancer. We need to draw an event. We have a vile messenger. We can't elude it. We just have to defend against it. And our priest is not great at defending. So our priest only gets to roll 1 die. .50-50 chance. And he got it. He got it. Rolled a 4. If I had failed, we would have had to increase the darkness track again. It would not have been great. I think what the priest wants to do now is actually use his benediction action. 1 hero at your location gains a grace up to their default. Now, he's not going to have more grace than me, so I don't get the other bonus, which allows me to gain my own grace. But we'll get him back up to his default grace of 3. And that's my special action. So now what I'm left with is dealing with these shades. I'm going to have to defend against these shades. Let's do it. Let's roll for defense. I can afford to lose 1 grace. So we're going to defend. That means I need to roll a 3 or higher. And I rolled a 4. Great. successfully defended against the shades here. Now, time for the necromancer. We need to increase the darkness track. We need to roll for the necromancer. A 4. Well, lots of people under a 4. Actually, everybody is under a 4. So the necromancer's not going to move. He's going to stay in the village, which means we're going to spawn a 4th blight in the village yet again. What are we going to spawn this time? We're going to have 2 evil presences in the village. Now, their effects are cumulative, which sucks. Since the evil presence takes a die away when eluding, 2 of them are going to take 2 dice away when eluding. Which means that if I were to even use my priest's elude with 4 dice ability, it would only allow him to roll 2 dice. And you can always roll a minimum of 1 die, regardless of any detrimental effects. Right, so we are now on round 7. I did rounds 1 through 3 the last time, 4 through 6 this time. Let's pause again. We'll pick up with round 7 in the next video. So, until then, this is Wild One signing off.